When you think of the Amazon, what comes to mind? Probably a huge, dense green jungle, right? But that picture, it honestly doesn't even scratch the surface. The Amazon is one of the planet's greatest remaining mysteries, a world that keeps our most brilliant scientists totally baffled. So let me ask you this. What if a forest, a whole collection of massive, ancient trees, could actually get up and walk? It sounds like something straight out of a fantasy novel, doesn't it? Well, believe it or not, in the Amazon, it's real. There are literally trees that, very slowly but surely, travel across the forest floor on their own roots. And that incredible fact is just the beginning of the secrets we're about to uncover. Now, we've all heard the Amazon called the lungs of the planet. It's a great nickname for sure, but it barely hints at how truly important and just staggeringly huge this place is. Okay, let's talk numbers. 20%. A single forest is responsible for producing 20% of the entire world's oxygen. It's not just the planet's lungs. You could think of it as the world's biggest and most important air conditioner. And get this, the Amazon has been doing that job for 50 million years. That's long, long before the first humans ever walked the Earth. Our entire history is just a tiny blip compared to the life of this ancient forest. And its size, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. We're talking about 5.5 million square kilometers. It's so enormous it stretches across 9 different countries. It's really less of a forest and more of its own green continent. The jungle is so incredibly dense, the canopy of trees overhead is so thick that when it starts to rain, a single drop of water can take a full 10 minutes to make its journey from the top of the leaves all the way down to the ground. So beyond its mind-boggling scale, the Amazon is home to creatures and people who are every bit as mysterious. And this is where things start to get really dangerous. Yeah, this is not a place you'd want to go for a casual hike. We're talking about the home of the world's largest snakes, a massive fish the locals call a man-eater, spiders that are big enough to actually hunt and eat birds, and insects whose bite can kill you in seconds. But it's not just the animals. There are people. Deep in the jungle, there are around 400 distinct tribes living completely, totally cut off from our world. These are communities that have never seen a car or a skyscraper. Some have no concept of the wheel. And their customs can be profoundly different from anything we understand. According to local accounts, some tribes have a really startling ritual. When a member passes away, they don't bury or cremate the body. They consume it. It just goes to show how truly separate their world is from ours. The mysteries aren't just in the here and now. The jungle is also holding on to echoes from the past, amazing stories of grand civilizations that rose and fell, and the legends that actually gave the forest its famous name. For years, we thought of the Amazon as untouched wilderness, but it turns out that's not the whole story. Research now suggests that 2,500 years ago, a huge, sophisticated society, nicknamed the Garden City, was thriving in there with organized roads and tall buildings. But then a massive volcanic eruption just wiped it off the map, burying all its secrets. So why do we call it the Amazon? Well, the name comes from the very first European explorer who journeyed deep inside. He wrote about a terrifying encounter with a fierce army of female warriors. Their fighting skill reminded him of the Amazons from Greek mythology, and the name just stuck. Even with all our satellites and high-tech gear, the Amazon keeps presenting puzzles that modern science just can't solve. It's a place where the normal rules of nature seem to get, well, a little weird. For example, there is a river deep in the Amazon that boils. The water naturally gets up to 110 degrees Celsius. Usually, you'd need a volcano nearby for that to happen. But here, there's no clear scientific reason for it. The river just boils. And then there are the Amazon rings. We're talking about over 4,500 massive, perfectly circular earthworks carved into the jungle floor. They're ancient, and their purpose is a total and complete mystery. Who built them, and why? We still have absolutely no idea. But maybe the most valuable secret is something called terra preta, or black gold. It's this type of soil found in the Amazon that is perpetually fertile. Now, that completely defies everything we know about tropical soils, which are usually terrible for farming. This man-made soil seems to regenerate itself, and scientists are flocking there from all over the world, desperate to unlock a secret that could literally change agriculture forever.
So, when you put all of this together, the sheer scale, the incredible dangers, the lost history, and all these unsolved scientific puzzles, you start to realize something. The Amazon is truly one of the last great frontiers right here on our own planet. And maybe the most staggering fact of all is this one. After centuries of trying, with all our modern technology, we have only managed to explore about 10% of the Amazon. The other 90%? It remains a complete, uncharted mystery.
Just let that sink in. We have mapped the surface of Mars. We've sent probes to the deepest parts of our oceans. But this enormous, living, breathing world right here in our own land remains almost completely unknown to us.
And all of this leads to one final huge question. With so much still hidden away in its depths, will we ever truly understand the Amazon? Or is it destined to forever remain this beautiful, dangerous, and completely unsolved enigma?